Welcome to Module 2, my people. This one is where we move from just dreaming to actually doing. And I want to tell you that it's quite easy for you to save. And one thing you need to have at the back of your mind is that it's not just about I want to save. I'm going to show you how to go about saving. And you basically know how to go about saving for things that actually matter to you. Whether it's the phone that you want to buy, or the business that you want to start, or the rent that is forthcoming. In this module, I'll teach you how you can turn your dreams into clear, realistic goals and how you can achieve them step by step. Mind you, there is no pressure. It's just realistic plan that would basically put in place that would match your income and your lifestyle, and you would also get to look at how you can set these goals and reach them. So relax, carry your pen, get your notepad, let's dive in, because by the end of this module you should be getting clearer to saving better and getting more wealthier for yourself. So let's smash it. All right, so let's move on to the objective for module 2. I've been able to draft out a couple of objectives. I've been able to draft out 5 objectives for module 2. So are you all ready? Let's dive in. So before we dive in, here is what we are going to be talking about under the objective, and you have to be very, very, attentive here, because this objective is just a game changer. So the first one I would like to talk about is how well you can unlock the secrets to why saving feels so hard. And I just have a little bit of spoiler alert here, because it's not just about having money, it's about your mindset, your past experience, how you view success. Once you actually understand what is actually holding you back, it's basically very easy for you to start saving. The next thing, I'll show you how you can transform those vague wishes, like I want to save more, into clearer, powerful goals that will get results, goals that can actually be tracked and celebrated. And then I'm going to introduce you to the SMART goal framework. And I use the SMART goal framework to, coach successful people around the world. And I believe that when you apply it to your finances, your goal will suddenly become achievable and realistic. Also, I will help you to design a savings plan that fits your lifestyle, whether it's earning weekly or maybe daily or even monthly. Because one thing I've come to realize is that savings should basically fit into your lifestyle and should not frustrate it. And finally, you're going to learn how to create a bulletproof saving habit that runs like autopilot. So imagine saving without having to think about every single day, think about your life every single day. This is exactly where we are going to build together in this model. So are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello all, let's continue from where we stopped. Today's topic is on reasons why people fail in saving. Common mistake people get to indulge in, why they get to fail while trying to save. Let's actually be honest, right? Saving money does not really come as easy as you think, because if it comes as easy as you think, lots of persons will be having fat amounts in their bank accounts, right? So there are a couple of reasons why people fail at savings, and I've been able to create 3 action points as to why people fail or make mistakes, why they try to save. And one of the common mistakes that they actually make is that they don't set clear goal. So let me just illustrate something, right? Imagine you get into your car and then you turn on the engine of your car without even having a clear direction of where you want to go to. I don't know if it has actually happened to anybody, but I believe that in case we are getting into our car, we are turning on the engine. It's basically to move the car and to move to a particular place, right? We all have an aim as to why we move with our cars and all that. But we don't channel that energy in terms of our movement and transportation. We don't channel that energy to our savings. And it's actually not a very good move. You need to have a clear direction as to what you're actually saving for. So let me break it down, right? You should have a separate account, or even if you're using one account, you should have different goals as to why you want to save money. And you should have separate accounts where you put in those money, right? If you want to save for a house, the money you're channeling, when you get any kind of money, you have to channel it to that house, right, that you want to save for. If you're saving for black tax, in case maybe somebody wants to ask you for money, you should have another separate savings account where that money goes to, right? So once your money come in, what you have to do is to just make some checks and balances, prioritize according to what you want to be saving for. If your priority for now is actually to buy a house or to save for a rent, prioritize saving your account, saving for that particular thing. If it's to buy a house, in case you have money that comes in, try to remove a particular percentage and then push to that account, right? In case maybe you want to also save for black tax, so nobody will disturb you and you can use your money very well to the best of your capacity. You can use the remaining money that you've kept for spending, day-to-day spending properly without it being eaten or anything. Always have a separate account where you put money for black tax. So is every other session that you'll be saving in for. So that way you actually have a clear direction of where you're actually going to. I believe that some of us actually created or drafted down our goals for 2025, and part of what we wrote down was I want to save a particular money by the end of the year. Yes, it's actually a goal, right? But when it's not even put into action, it's just wishful thinking. And yes, it's good to think big, but when you don't put actions towards ensuring that you hit that particular goal, it's just wishful thinking. So it's something we need to start doing going forward. In case you want to save for anything, if you're a business owner and you want to save for a better shop, a bigger shop, you have to put a goal towards it. And then through automation process, you automatically your bank will be deducting a particular amount that you'll be agreeing with them to deduct and be transferring it to your savings account. So that way you can be accountable and you can know that okay, this total amount is what I'm going to get by the end of maybe 12 months to get a bigger shop or something like that. So it's very key. You need to have a clear goal if you would want to save for you need to have a clear goal if you would want to indulge in saving, right? So the second point I would want to talk about is your goals are too big or too vague, right? So I just feel like when you're setting up a goal, if it doesn't meet up with the SMART criteria, it is not actually a goal, it's a wishful thinking. When I mean SMART criteria, is it specific? Your goal, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is this something that you can actually indulge in within a specific time frame, right? If it meets up with that SMART criteria, then you basically know that your goals are not vague or they are not too big. It's something that you know you can accomplish. And I feel like I feel like it is very much important that we try as much as possible in the course of we trying to save for something or trying to put in goals for getting to save or trying to put in directions. We need to understand that those directions that we're trying to draft out needs to meet up with the SMART criteria. So take for instance, if you have it at the back of your mind that you want to save 5 million naira by the end of the year and you have not even saved up to 50k before, you know what your brain actually hears something like something that actually immediately shuts it down and make it feel like it's impossible. And for you to be able to break that, you need to try as much as possible to be very financially prudent. If you say you want to save 5 million naira, like in a year, you have to be very consistent so that possibly you can actually try to achieve that goal. If you want to save like 5k in a week and you feel like it's doable, sorry, if you want to save like 250k in a year, it's actually doable. If you're actually putting in 5k every day in that particular account, by the end of the year, you can easily save 250k. So everything is doable, provided it meets the SMART criteria and it's not something that is too big or too vague. Because before ever you think about saving, you need to also look at your income. You need to do some analysis of the monthly income that you have, right? And if maybe you're really determined to get to that point and you discover that your monthly income would not actually help you to get to that point in terms of saving, you need to try to look out for other streams of income that you can actually indulge in. So the third thing I would want to talk about is no plan or accountability. I'll repeat myself, no plan or accountability. And this is actually a very big killer. No plan, no system, no accountability. It's just like setting a goal to lose weight and you're never changing your diet or you're not even doing a workout routine. And basically, when you don't even do a workout routine or maybe there's no goal in terms of changing your diet, nothing would actually change. Everything would remain the same. So it's very much important that you need to be very accountable. You need to have a plan put in place. It's not just by having big dreams or setting goals, or you need to have plans you need to put plans in place. You need budget. You need to have reminders, something that would always remind you, or you need to have an accountability partner. Basically, someone that would always remind you that, okay, this month have you actually saved, or you're going to put your money in your bank account. Go and try to see how you can automate your bank account or something. You can also use apps. There are different apps you can actually use that would, give you reminders as to when you're meant to save. You can also use spreadsheets to do that. But you just need to be accountable. You just need to have a plan that you need to put in place so you can save better. So wrapping this up, I would say that if you've been saving and you've not actually had a real progress, then you need to check yourself. It could be that maybe your goals are too vague, or maybe you don't even have a goal or a plan. And if you notice that, yes, you don't actually have a goal, or maybe your goals are too vague, or maybe you don't have a plan, it then means that you need to fix this and watch. I believe that when you get to fix it, you basically improve in how you go about saving your money and all that. I hope these tips were helpful. Let's proceed to the next slide.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about the science of setting goals, because when done right, it literally rewires your brain to take actions. Why SMART goals really work? Let's talk about it. SMART goals work because it removes all the guessworks in our mind, and they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. They also basically give structure to the brain, and when the brain gets acquainted to these SMART goals, it gets comfortable and it spurs up for action and change. Instead of saying something like, I want to save for the year, say something like, I want to save like 100k in 3 months. And because you want to save 100k in 3 months, you have it at the back of your mind that you need to be putting aside 8,500 naira every week. And I believe that if you're very prudent and you do this consistently, you're going to see the difference. I believe that clarity actually builds focus, and focus leads to you achieving your goal. So it's very much important that in case you're actually setting goals, you need to abide by the SMART criteria, right? And you need to try as much as possible to rewire your brain towards working hand in hand with the SMART criteria that you're going to be setting in place in your saving journey. So I would want to talk about the importance of micro saving goals for motivation. Now, here is the magic, right, in terms of micro goals, because I know that big goals feel inspiring and you feel like, oh my god, you can achieve it. Take for instance, if you say that you want to like save 2.5 million naira in 6 months, it's a big goal, right? And you feel like you can achieve it and all that, but along the line, to be very honest with you, you might actually get overwhelmed. That's where micro goals come in, right? And so far it has actually helped me in my saving journey. In as much as yes, I have a streamlined goal I want to achieve for the year, I actually have a micro goal I work hand in hand with, and it's basically helped me to achieve my annual goal for the year. So it's very much important that you understand micro goal, and while you have your goal that has been set in place for the year, you put a structure to saving towards achieving that annual goal, and that's where the micro goal come in. And I believe that every small wins that you give your brain stimulates this kind of dopamine and makes you feel good, and suddenly it's basically saving basically do not feel like a burden anymore. It doesn't feel like a punishment, because the more you do it, the more you smash your micro goals, the more your brain feels more fulfilled and more open for it to like make you understand that for it to rewire itself towards knowing that it can make you to save more than the amounts that you're currently saving. And over time, if you're very consistent with these micro goals, you're going to attain your goal for the year. So it's very much important. So the second thing I would want to talk about is visualization, right? Visualization is tantamount to increased action, because the more you visualize things, the more you look forward to achieving it. So I would like to share a story, right? So while I was growing up, there was a particular girl that I was competing with. I think that was during my secondary school days, and she made a statement to me that really hurt me. And that statement was the action points that I actually took. And that statement she made, when she made the statement, it was a very negative one. I had to stand my foot to like rebuke her, and then I told her that you're going to watch me and you're going to see how I'm going to scale through this particular thing that you've said, and let's see who basically laugh last, right? And because I kept visualizing the fact that I am going to defeat her, I am going to make what she has said make her look a little bit remorseful based on what she has said at the long run, because she'll get to see that I achieved it. Come in with her tail in between her legs to come and say, okay, it's true, it's not always like this. I didn't actually understand things in that light and all that. So I took action. I kept visualizing the end goal, which is making her feel very ashamed of what she has actually told me, right? And because of the fact that I kept visualizing it, it increased my action. One thing about the brain is that the brain doesn't actually know the difference between real and vivid imagination, or vivid imagined experience and all that. So when you visualize things, especially when it comes to your goals, it hits differently. When you visualize paying off your debts, when you visualize booking your dream trips, your dream trip, you actually rewind your brain for success. And that mental rehearsal basically improve and increase your motivation, and makes you to even do more and even outdo yourself. You might even find out that you would hit your goal, and you would even overhit your goal, and even still save more than you've actually like created for yourself for the year. So I would like to wrap this particular slide up by saying that it is actually very important that while you're trying to set up your goal, try to set up a goal that meets up with the SMART criteria, and try to break your goals into micro goals, right? So you can be able to smash clearly. You can be able to have clarity on which to achieve for the day and which to achieve for the week. And that way, the more you achieve your goals, the more it's smaller, the more your brain gets to know that it's very much achievable. That's basically the psychology of real progress. I believe that with this information, you can actually turn your goal saving journey towards a better one. Thank you very much. Stay tuned as we move on to the next class.
Now that we've talked about why most people fail in saving, let's look at how we can do things right when it comes to having a SMART framework. Now, SMART is actually an acronym that helps us to set goals that actually work. Let's break it down. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, right? And I'll start with breaking each of these letters down to the barest minimum, so everyone will be carried along. I'll start with specific. You need to be clear. You don't say, I want to save money. You say something like, I want to save 200k for rent, right? You have to have a specific goal, right? You don't need to just have a vague kind of goal in terms of being specific. You need to have goals that are basically focused and intentional. Then in the aspect of measurable, you need to be able to track your progress. Ask yourself this question: how much do I need to save each month? Can I see my growth weekly or monthly? Ask yourself this honest question. Also, then the A represents achievable, right? You need to make sure that your goal fits with your current income and lifestyle. You don't set goals to save 500k in 2 months if your current income is actually not, tantamount to that particular amount that you would want to save. Ambition is good, but you just need to be practical, to be very honest. The arrow actually represents realistic. Realistic is about your reality. Maybe you have bills, you have school, or you have family expenses and all that. You need to factor these things in, right, when you're trying to set a goal. Remember something. A goal you can actually stick with will always beat a perfect plan you abandon. Have that at the back of your mind. Let's move on to time bound. Time bound means that you need to have a deadline, right? You need to have a deadline, because when you don't have a specific deadline, you can't achieve your goal. You need to put a deadline in place that one day I'm going to open up my savings, and then I'm going to count the number of money I've been saving so far in the last 6 months and all that. So if you say something like, I want to save 200k in 5 months, that gives you this urgency and basically this structure in your brain that it is a requirement that at all costs I try as much as possible to hit my target of saving 200,000 naira in 5 months. So let me break it down, right? Just assume you put everything together and you say that you want to save like 200k in 5 months, right? You can actually break that savings, like I talked about setting micro goals, right? You can break that savings, that goal, into saving 40k per month, so that by the end of 5 months you can achieve your target of getting 200k. That is actually a smart goal, because for the fact that you've actually broken down that goal into micro goals, you have been able to set a clearer, trackable, doable, and time-based goal for you to achieve when it comes to saving funds. And to wrap this up, I would say that when your goals are smart, your saving stops feeling impossible and starts feeling like you have a plan that you actually put in place. So try as much as possible that going forward, whenever you want to save money, try to ensure that your savings meets up with your own smart criteria, so it wouldn't look impossible to achieve. I hope this was helpful. Let's proceed to the next slide. All right, so I'm glad that you're actually learning and catching value from this class. We have actually dived deep into how to save better and understanding the values of money. So right now, we are going to be talking about the 4 personalities of money. And while I speak about the 4 personalities of money, I would want you to honestly review yourself, review your spending habits, and know the category you fall in. And because of you knowing it, try to jot that down. Are we good to go? All right, so we have 4 basic money personalities. We have the spender, we have the saver, we have the avoider, and we have the planner. Now, for the spenders, they are technically people that love to buy things, especially things on impulse. They enjoy giving, they enjoy gifting. They are thrilled to, give themselves treats and also give people treats, take people out on a treat too. And the challenges that these spenders actually have is that they actually struggle a lot with impulse savings. They often spend before even thinking. They practically get confused about spending, like they just spend anyhow, and they get confused about how much they would want to save or they should save and all that. And I would like to share what you should watch out for if you fall under this category. So one thing you need to watch out for is if you're consistent in saying something like, I deserve this. If you have that mindset, I deserve this kind of mindset. If you're someone that do emotional shopping a lot and you don't even always keep emergency funds, you're someone that once the money come, you're thinking of what you want to buy, what you want to do, where you want to go to. Are you that kind of person? Are you that kind of person that say, I don't work tired, I deserve to take care of myself, I deserve to eat? You get, once the money come, nobody's saying that you should not do it, but once the money come, that's your main focus. Then secondly, for the savers, I'll give a brief description. The savers are people that feel safe and secure when the money is saved. They practically avoid spending unless it's absolutely necessary. Now, the challenge is that they hoard money out of fear, and they practically hoard money out of fear of missing out in life experiences and struggle to invest. And the things that you should watch out for if you're someone that is a saver is that you would have anxiety when you spend your money. Those people, they are technically called stingy people in terms of people around, like in Nigerian terms, they call them stingy people, but I wouldn't say they are stingy, right? It's your personality, and it's not something that should be looked down upon, right? It's just all left for us to see how we can make amends towards getting better. So one of the things you need to watch out for is anxiety to spend money, right? You're spending because you're trying to save money because of fear of the unknown, and you're taking calculated financial risks, right? So if you're that kind of person, you actually fall under the category of a saver. Are you an avoider? So when I mean an avoider, I would say people that prefer not to think about money at all. They don't even make budgets or track their expenses. It's very bad, actually, but yeah, that's how it is. But if you're that kind of person, I would like to say that one of the challenges that you would be facing is technically no financial plan or saving habits. You don't really have a saving habit. You don't make budgets. You avoid bills or bank statements. Yeah, and one of the things that you would basically use to pick out if you fall under this category is that you have lack of financial awareness. You make delayed decisions, and money overwhelms you, right? And the last category that I would want to talk about is the planner. So this planner are technically people that are strategic, goal-oriented. They thrive on the structure and spreadsheets when it comes to making money for themselves. And the challenges is that they become too rigid or anxious, and sometimes they over-control money. And one of the things that you need to look out for if you're the planner is that you micromanage your finances. You get burnt out from micromanaging your finances. You get overly anxious, and you have got a little bit of uncertainties like hovering around your mind and all that. So I believe that with this little money personality, you should have known, or you should have jotted where you actually fall under. And I would like to say that understanding your money personality actually help you to build awareness and basically help you to know how to, curtail your spending habits. It also help you to, customize a saving strategy that would suit yourself, your personality, because I feel like all personalities are unique. It helps you to also avoid burning out or getting confused when you have money. And it also helps you to embrace your strengths while you're trying to manage your blind spots, like your flaws and all. So which one are you and why? Have you actually written everything down in your journal or in your coursework book? Think about how this personality, show up in your spending, your saving, and in your goal setting habits. Hope this was helpful. See you in my next Now, let's get real. Your belief actually shape your behavior. Whether you believe it or not, you are actually right. Here is a key message I would want to push across to everyone. If you believe that saving is hard, it will be. If you believe that you're always broke, you will unconsciously act like it. If you believe that your savings can grow, even if it's like 500 naira a day, you will make it happen. This course is about rewriting that belief, that self-limiting belief that you can't save so much. Let's be honest, your current money habits is not just about numbers. It's about the narratives you've actually created for your, like in your head. Like, I'm not a money person. I'll save when I earn more. I'm just bad with money. These are all narratives. But guess what? These stories aren't just facts. They are just scripts. And you have the power to rewrite them. Here is a new belief system you need to have. Always memorize this belief system. When you wake up in the morning, try to memorize this belief system. You are in control of your money. You build wealth. You basically can actually make a smart choice, and you would actually use that smart choice to create more wealth for yourself. So let me rephrase it. You can say, or you can actually write in a journal or in a sticker note and just place it just right next to your bed or on your bed frame, so you can always see it when you wake up in the morning. I am in control of my money. I build wealth, one smart choice at a time. I'll repeat myself. I am in control of my money. I build wealth, one smart choice at a time. Say it louder. This isn't just about saving. It's about becoming the kind of person that saves, right? You know that you get to find out that when you get to recite it, it goes directly to your subconscious mind and change the narrative that has already been there. And you find out that subconsciously, it will start manifesting that everything about your belief system will change in terms of how you control money and how you get to make more money for yourself. So before this course would basically come to the end of this course, I would help you to draft out your money card belief system, so you can actually look at that card every day and get to recite your money declaration, right? So just stay tuned. By the end of this course, I think that should be part of the package that I'll be pushing across to everyone. All right, it's time for us to apply what we've learned, because I believe that knowledge without action does not build savings. So the first step that you need to take is to recap the SMART formula. You need to start by quickly reviewing the SMART goal formula and understand that your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Think of it like you're trying to create a checklist, and make sure the goals that you're putting in place is actually doable. And then the next step you need to do is to write your goals. Now, write down your short-term goal, something that you want to save within the next 1 to 6 months, right? And then write down your long-term goal, something bigger like rent, business, or education. Remember, you have to be specific and add deadlines, and break the amount down if you can. Remember what we talked about micro goals, right? And the third step you need to do is to, if you want to share, it's optional. You can actually share it anonymously. If you want to take it a step further, you can share your SMART goals anonymously to your space. If you have a community, or if you have friends, you can actually share your goals with your friends, right? It's just basically for you to inspire people to even get into the savings challenge if you want to create one, or basically to just inspire people that if you can save that particular amount that you just saved, they can actually do that too. So just do these assignments, and I believe that once you start applying everything you've learned, you'll become better in terms of saving and managing money. And I believe that from now onwards, you can be able to create wealth better for yourself. Thank you very much, and God bless you.